Hi, everyone. I wanted to do a recording so that I could help you prepare for the final exam. The test will have 60 questions. They will all be multiple choice questions, and each is worth 5 points. So 60 times 5 is 300. So the test will be worth 300 points. And the test will cover three main things. The first is the filmmaking terms, and on our Canvas page, there is a handout that says the filmmaking terms, and I can ask any question from that page. So I recommend studying it, and if you're smart, probably even printing it and then having it with you when you take the test. So that would be smart. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the prompts for the discussion board. So each of the movies we watched this semester, I had a prompt for you, and in that I talk about the film and some of the things that I might ask you. You really should know the directors of each of the films, the countries from which the films come, and then the trivia that I ask. And I, again, can ask anything from any of those prompts for those discussions. So that's the second thing that you'll need to study. And you can even print those out if you'd like. And then the third thing is the movies themselves. And what I mean by that is I want to make sure that you watched all of the films. And so I will ask very, very simple questions about the movies. And if you've watched them, they'll be very, very easy. If you haven't seen them, though, they'll be almost impossible to answer. And it's not something you can look up on Google or whatever. There'll be, things that only if you've watched the film they'll make sense. So those are the three things. So to prepare for it, watch all the movies, read the prompts if you haven't taken part in those discussions, because my prompts for those will be there, and then also the filmmaking terms. Okay, so the final exam opens on Monday, December 12th at 8 a.m. I'm sorry, 7 a.m. and will be open for the next 5 days. It will close on Friday, December 12th at midnight. So you have all week to take it. The test is, I believe, 120 minutes. So you should have plenty of time, especially if you've prepared. But do keep track of your time, because if you're even 1 second over and you haven't submitted your test, you get a 0, and I don't want that to happen to anyone. So be aware of how much time you have, so that you can get credit for all the questions that you've answered. Pretty straightforward, pretty simple, but it's worth nearly a third of your grade, 300 points, and the class is based on 1,000. So for your final grade, I wanted to mention that to pass this class, to get a C or higher, you need 700 points. And if you've done 10 film responses well, you've gotten 70 for each, and that's 700. So we've watched 15 films, I believe, or we will have watched 15 by then. So there's enough for you to not even have to take the test if you've done all of them and you've gotten all the points for each. But anyways, there's 700 to pass. And if you want an A in the class, you need 920 or more. 900 to 919 will be an A minus. So it's all spelled out in one of the announcements that I had. So a point breakdown. I'm grading like crazy, and I'm sorry I'm behind a bit, but I will catch up very soon. But you have an idea of what I want and what your work is worth. So anyways, if you have any questions, please email me or call me. My email and office phone are both in the syllabus, so I'm happy to answer any questions. The last thing I wanted to say is that December 12th, that's the Friday during finals week, midnight is the deadline, not only for the final exam, but for all other things. So if you want to do any extra credit, remember I said you can watch those extra films for extra credit. Or if you're missing any work that you want to still submit, I will still gladly read and grade your work if you've submitted by midnight on Friday, December 12th. I can't accept anything after that because technically the class is over. So that's a very big date, time, and I will happily accept anything right up until that point. So good luck on the test. Please contact me if you have any questions, and hopefully everyone does well, and maybe you'll take one of my classes in the future. Thank you. Good luck.